Hello everybody, I'm Kate and I'll be your fearless leader today through your yoga practice. So let's start in a comfortable seat, Sukhasana. So just sit down on your mat, gently cross your legs. If your hips have been opening up for you and it feels good, it's accessible for you, you can try half lotus. So take the leg attached to the hip that's more open, and that's the leg that goes on top. If the half lotus or full lotus position gets a little too intense for you, just back up. Try not to give up on it because it really will open up your hips, but just back out of it a little bit. So once you've found your comfortable seat, take a nice deep breath, and when you do, you'll feel your chest lift, you'll lift through the crown of your head. Keep that length, and as you exhale, just bring your chin neutral, pull your head back slightly so that your ears are resting above your shoulders, and use those muscles between your shoulder blades to just gently pull your shoulders back. Close your eyes and just start to notice your breath. Become singularly focused. Inhale through the nose and maybe exhale through the mouth a couple of times. And then just start to breathe in and out through the nose. Notice how the air is a little cooler on the inhale than the exhale. Notice if you're a deep belly breather, or maybe you breathe shallow and fast. No judgment, just awareness. You might notice that when you bring your awareness to your breath and let go of everything outside the room, that your breath slows down and deepens just on its own. You might feel like you sit a little heavier on the mat. You might even feel your shoulders and jaw start to relax a bit. And when you do, make a transition into a 3-part breath. So on your next inhale, pull that breath deep to your lower belly. And as your belly expands, lift it up to your lower ribs. And as your ribs start to lift and separate, pull it all the way up into your upper chest. And on your exhale, gently pull in the lower belly, empty belly, lower chest, upper chest. And just take a couple of breaths like that, just filling your whole torso, literally in with the good air and out with the bad. Breathing is a practice. So if you feel a little overwhelmed practicing a 3-part breath, then just go to natural breathing again, just paying attention to your breath, how it ebbs and flows. And when you're ready, practice that 3-part breath again. From here, we'll start a soft Ujjayi. Ujjayi is victorious breath. It actually gives you strength and stamina. If you ever find yourself challenged while practicing, chances are that you've lost this breath control, so just return to it. If Ujjayi is new for you, start with your tongue at the roof of your mouth. Keep your breathing in and out through your nose. that as you exhale with your mouth closed and breathing through the nose, try to make a ha sound as though you're fogging up a mirror or a pair of lenses. And that little vibration you feel at the back of your throat is Ujjayi. It helps you control the flow of breath in and out of your lungs. And it's a practice again, just like asana, just like your postures. So if you feel overwhelmed, just go back to natural breathing and join in again. In time, it'll be second nature. On your next inhale, reach your arms out and up into prayer. And as you exhale, just float your thumbs to your sternum, Anjali Mudra, and set an intention for your class. It could be really personal, something just for you. Or it could be more karmic in nature, a thought, a wish, a prayer for someone or some cause. And right now in the time of coronavirus, we've got a good reason to set this dedication for the world. And now sealing this intention with one round of Om. Exhale everything. Take a deep breath. Open your eyes and bring your awareness into the room. Inhale, arms out and up. And as you exhale, just reach out in front of you. Let your hands land where they'd like to. And let your head just reach down toward the ground. So just a gentle forward fold right now, letting your spine round. Keep your belly gently engaged. And just take a couple deep breaths. From here, walk your hands over to the right. Maybe you can get your chin, nose, or forehead to your knee. Don't worry if it doesn't happen, but try to square off your shoulders. So drop that inside shoulder, in this case it's the left. Maybe you can walk the left fingers a little further than the right, so you get a deeper stretch through the left side. Now press into that left hand so that you keep your left hip planted. And just take a couple breaths here. Again, don't worry about whether your head hits your knee or not. Instead, think about how it feels, getting that length through the left side and trying to breathe into the left lung. Now gently take it through the center, over to the left side. Chin, nose, or forehead to your left knee. Maybe the right fingers can reach a little beyond the left. And then drop that left shoulder, right shoulder, and press into the right hand. Now one more time to the center, and this time walk your fingers as far away from you as you can, spread them wide, and then put a press into your hands so that your hips stay on the mat. You feel that lengthening out of your low back. Now that you've opened up a bit, you might get a little deeper, starting to open up, get some blood flow. And then with your chin just lightly resting on your chest, just slowly roll up, stacking one vertebra on the other. Shoulders roll back and chin lifts. Now extend the right leg to the right corner of the room. Hold on to the left knee with the right hand. Inhale, right arm up. And as you exhale, just leaning toward your toes. Try to keep your shoulders square so you're tucking the right under, pulling the left back. Don't worry about how deep you go. Again, it's about what you're feeling. So there's a twist here and then lengthening through the left side. Maybe your gaze is up past your arm. And if that bothers your neck at all, just find a gaze somewhere else in the room where you don't feel overwhelmed by the posture. You feel the stretch, but you can breathe through it. You're just starting to gently play with the edges until we get warmed up. Inhale back to center, place the left hand in line with the right, and we're going to do 5 sets of gait. So on your inhale, reach up, come up to the left knee, maybe start to drop that right shoulder, and exhale, float down. Inhale, lift for 2, exhale, change. Inhale, 3, exhale, change. Inhale, exhale, back to the mat, and last one we'll lift and hold. So inhale, reach up, maybe reach back, and breathe here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, down to the mat, and bring the soles of your feet together. So you can play with this a little bit. You'll notice a difference in how this feels in your hips by where you place your feet. So just play with it a little bit so that you're just starting again to play with those edges. And then tuck your thumbs in by the toe mounds of your feet. Open up like the pages of a book for an ankle rotation. Inhale, lengthen, and this time leading with your heart so you keep a long, straight spine. Don't worry about how deep you go again, but this is for the inner groin area, the short abductors. So when you find your edge, if you'd like, you can drop your chin tight to your chest. So really press your chin to your chest for a Jalandhara Bandha throat lock that stimulates the thyroid. You can use your elbows to apply just a little gentle pressure to your knees. Maybe you can open up those thighs a little bit more. But again, go with how it feels, not with how it looks. And then inhale, come back to center. Keep the right leg closed, extend the left. Pull the toes towards your face. When you pull the toes towards your face, you stretch the plantar fascia at the back of your foot, your Achilles, and your calf. So, holding on to the right knee with the left hand, inhale, reach up through the right arm, exhale, hinging towards your toes, tucking the left shoulder in, pulling the right back, maybe your gaze is over your arms. If you'd like, if this is too much for your shoulder, just drop your arm behind you. Keep pulling that shoulder back so you keep the heart open, try to keep your shoulders stacked. This also is beneficial if you find with your arm above your head that your heart starts to really beat. Your heart just has to work hard to send the blood to your fingers, so just drop your arm. Exhale back to center, plant the right hand, and now 5 sets of gait. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, 3. Exhale. Inhale, 4. Last one, lift and hold. Exhale. So come to standing at the top of your mat. I'll face this way so that you can see. Inhale, arms out and up. And on your exhale, just take a giant step out to the left. Shoulders back, tail tucks. Again, on your exhale, over your left ear. Inhale back to center. Exhale, reaching over your right ear. Inhale back to center, interlace your fingers behind you, lift from the sternum, exhale, forward fold, leading with your heart. If it's available, maybe you can lift your knuckles up off your low back. Maybe you can squeeze your hands together. Again, you're just warming up, nice tight abs whenever you're in a forward fold. Inhale back to center, release your arms. Pivot the right toes to the mirror, left towards your middle. And on your exhale, sink your hips. Warrior 2. So it's important that your knee be right on top of your ankle. Lift your toes, spread them wide, and lay them down again. That'll help you to relax your central nervous system. It'll also lift your inner arch and give you a little more balance. Press through both feet as though you'd like to tear the mat, and that equal and opposite will help you stay here. Tuck the right hip in, pull the left hip and the left knee back. Arms are strong, but your fingers might be soft. Your jaw soft, your toes soft. On your exhale, see if you can seal any deeper. Gaze is over top of your right fingers. On your inhale, straighten out the right leg. Pivot the right toes towards your midline, left to the back wall. Take a nice deep breath, and on your exhale, sink again. Now your two sides are different. Look down at your knee. If you don't see your big toe popping out of the center, you need a wider stance. With your knee directly on top of your ankle, you protect your knee. Pick up the toes, lay them back down, pinch the shoulders together, slight engagement to the abs. And gazes over the left fingers, just finding your edge for right now. It's likely to change. Straighten out the left. Pivot all 10 toes toward the mirror. Flip the palms. Inhale, arms and legs together. Exhale, arms down to your side. Turn around to face the top of your mat if you're not there already. And we'll move through sun salutations. Inhale, arms out and up. And on your exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, lengthen. And on your exhale, step your right foot back. So again, left knee is right on top of your ankle. Square off your hips by pulling the left back and dropping the right. Now fire up that right leg by pressing the heel back and lifting it towards the knee and thigh up towards the ceiling. On your exhale, maybe you can sit a little deeper. If this is too much, float down to your knee. Send your hips forward. So you're stretching the hip flexors. Plant the hands, step back to down dog. Nice big stretch. Hips high, heels low. Press your heart through. Look up at your thumbs, and on your exhale, one smooth move, chaturanga, halfway down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Tops of your feet on the floor, knees are lifting, shoulders are reaching back and down. Exhale, press the mat away, maybe rolling over top of the toes. Inhale, big stretch with the right leg, and on your exhale, lunge. So same thing, opposite side. Square off your hips. The forward foot pulls the hip with it. So pull the right hip back this time. Knee on your ankle. Left leg is strong. Now maybe you can sink your hips a little bit more. So you're stretching through the quads and the hip flexor. Step the left foot up. Lengthen as you inhale. And on your exhale, fold, just surrender. Inhale, arms out and up. And second set, one breath, one movement. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, left foot back. Plant the hands. Inhale, down dog. Look forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, down. Exhale, lunge. Step the right foot up to meet the left. Lengthen on your inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, arms by your side, Tadasana. So from here, let's warm up the shoulders and the hips some more with Garudasana, eagle. Inhale, arms out and up, and on your exhale, swing the right arm under the left. So your palms come together and your thumbs face you. If this is too tough for you, your shoulders are just that tight, you can give yourself a nice big bear hug. Either way, I want you to just work it out a little bit. Just a little wiggle room. Maybe lift your elbows up and down, just to stretch out through the shoulders and make this comfortable. Now pull the elbows tight. Squat low, and the higher you can lift the right leg, the more of the left thigh will be able to cover. So maybe eventually you can get the hook with your toes behind your calf. If you don't have the hook, then just keep trying to squeeze your shins together. Everything should be in one straight line. Fingers, wrist, elbows, belly button, knees, and feet. But if you have the hook and you're a little crooked, that's your work, to try to get everything to the center. It's just tight hips again. So just do your best. Now, drop the higher shoulder, lift the lower hip. And from here, Bring your shoulders right on top of your hips. And see how low you can sit down for 5. And change. Big stretch again. Exhale, left arm under right. Same thing, just work it out a little bit. There's always a difference. Sometimes it's really pronounced, sometimes not too much, but you're building an awareness, right? What's going on with you today? No judgment about it, but just paying attention to what is happening. On your exhale, pull your elbows tight, sit low. Lift your left leg up high, over, maybe around. Try to get everything to your center. Pull your shoulders on top of your hips. Drop the higher shoulder, lift the lower hip. And on your exhale, how low can you sit for 3, 2, 1. Exhale, arms down to your side. Head to knee. Shift the weight to the left and pick up the right. You have some options here. Start with keeping your knee waist level or even a little higher and pull those toes back towards your face. Again, it works the back of your leg, but it also shortens the distance between your ankle and your knee, so it protects your knee when your knee is bent. Stay here until you feel stable. You've got your breath, you've got your balance, and then you've got a couple of options. If your hamstrings are really tight, maybe start with your hands interlaced underneath your leg and kick out through the heel. Otherwise, hollow out so you round the spine and you actually end up with your head right above your knee here. Get your grip with all 10 fingers underneath the arch of your foot and kick out with your heel. So when you do this, it doesn't matter if your leg is bent. You're working those hamstrings, but kick out with your heel as you pull on your toes. So again, that equal and opposite will hold you there. Drop that right hip because the tendency is to want to lean on the left leg. If both legs are straight, drop the elbows, squeeze the calf. And from there, you might be able to just start looking for your standing big toe and find your head on your knee. And change. Shift the weight to the right, spread the toes. Pick up the left. Again, toes pull back towards your knee. Find your drishti. It's definitely a balancing posture. Once you know that you're stable, either get your grip underneath the thigh or at the bottom of your foot. Kick out with the heel. Keep your leg waist level or slightly higher. If you drop it below your waist, it starts to put a lot of pressure on your low back. Maybe if your leg is extended, you can release your arms. Last 5. And change. Inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, take a 3-foot step. Pick up all 10 toes and pivot to square off. So hips are square. Shoulders are right on the hips to start. On your exhale, drop your chin to your chest and roll forward, bending your knee as much as you need to get your forehead to your knee. This is about the compression. With your forehead to your knee, you stimulate the pituitary. Your chin is tight to your chest, so you're stimulating the thyroid. When you're contracting like that in this posture, you're working your digestive system. If you'd like, once you're here, you can separate your hands and press against the mat to keep that compression. If this feels good, bring the hands together in prayer, biceps by your ears, and press your blades of your pinkies into the mat. And that will help you keep your balance, keep your forehead to your knee. Now on your inhale, nice and slow, come back up using a little core strength. Exhale. Arms behind you. You can hold opposite wrist. You can interlace your fingers, or you can work in reverse namaskar. Whatever works for you. Pull those shoulders back, lift from the heart. And this time as you exhale, you're leading with your heart. So when you lead with your heart, that nice long back, you might feel the stretch through the hips and the hamstrings when you're only part way down. Whenever you feel the stretch, think of that as your baseline, and just stay there, breathe through it, and if it eases up, go further. Now, we're trying to eventually lay belly to thigh, chest to knee, and chin to shin. Usually when you get further down, if you drop your head, you round the spine, and you might feel it a little differently in the back of your legs. So again, play with it. So yoga's individual. It's what's working for you. Now on your inhale, come halfway up. On your exhale, shift the weight to the left foot. So spread the toes, get your balance, and then straighten out the left as you lift the right. You're in the posture here, one long line from your heel to your crown. Maybe you can exhale, come parallel with the floor. Drop that right hip. If you'd like, you can extend your arms behind, out to the side, or more challenging, right in front of you for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Step the right foot with the left. Arms down to your side. Inhale, arms back up. Exhale, step back about 3 feet with the left foot. Square off the hips. Lengthen on the inhale. Press your chin to your chest. Exhale, folding forward, going for that compression, forehead to your knee. So bend your knee as much as you need to. Separate your hands if you'd like. Square off your hips. So again, the forward foot pulls the hip with it. So you might find the right hip here pretty far in front of the left. Sometimes finding that balance is as much a matter of moving the weight back and forth to evenly distribute and then squaring off the hip. Usually what people try to do is just lift or drop. Find that even weight distribution and then lift or drop. Bring your hands together in prayer, biceps by your ears. On your inhale, come up nice and slow. Maybe a little back bend at the top if it feels good for you. Exhale, drop your arms behind you. Find your grip, interlace your fingers, hold opposite elbows, or work a reverse prayer. So this time with a long, flat spine. Lengthen on the inhale, and as you exhale, leading with your heart, maybe you stop here, find that even hip. You can feel it if you put your hands on your hips. Your back should be level. So maybe stop here and feel that stretch, just settle into it. And then on your next exhale, maybe you can start to lay belly on your thigh, chest on your knee, chin to your shin. Inhale, come halfway up, so you're parallel with the floor. Exhale, shift the weight to the right. Inhale, straighten the right as you lift the left. You're in the posture. Now on your exhale, for flexibility, maybe you come to that capital letter T again. Drop the left hip this time. Maybe you extend the arms. 5. And change. Right back to Tadasana. Nice deep breath. Just noticing what you feel. Inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, giant step again, moving back to warrior two. We're going to do a couple variations of it. So pivot the right toes. Pivot the left towards your middle. On your exhale, sink into your hips. Eventually you want your thigh parallel with the floor. You want your knee on your ankle. Tuck the right hip, pull the left and the right knee back. Now a lot of times you think that you're in the posture, hips underneath your shoulders, but if you bring your hands to your hips, you might find one higher than the other. Drop that left hip, lift the right, so that your hips are right underneath your shoulders, then you'll work your back evenly. Again, where can you soften? Usually it's your jaw, your fingers, your toes. Maybe you can sit a little deeper, and if you ever feel like you've gone too deep, you just back out of it. Now look over top of the left fingers as you inhale, flip the palm, and on your exhale, tilt into Trikonasana. So we want one long line from fingertip to fingertip. We want another long line from the heel right through the crown of your head. So if your hips are up, what you can do is grab a block or books if you have them. So instead of hips here, you drop those hips. Do not let your right elbow go below your knee. Press your arm against your knee against your arm. And in this one, if you get deeper, you drop the hips, not the upper body. And change. Inhale back to warrior two. Straighten the right. Pivot right to your center. Left to the outside. Big breath. Exhale, find your warrior again. Gazes over your left fingers, and this time you're tucking the left hip as you pull the right hip and the left knee back. Where's your breath? Breathing that soft Ujjayi for strength and endurance. Look over the right fingers, inhale, flip the palm. Exhale, tilt to the Trikonasana. One long line, fingertip to fingertip. And heel to crown. Inhale back to warrior two. Maybe sink a little bit deeper. Straighten the left leg. Pivot all 10 toes toward the mirror. Nice deep breath. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Get your peace fingers around the big toes. Exhale, fold, pulling on the toes, elbows lifting up toward the sky. Roll the weight into the balls of your feet to keep your hips in line with your heels. Release your bind. Inhale, come up. Exhale, right toes toward the mirror, sink your hips again. This time look over top of your right fingers, flip the palm. Exhale, reverse your warrior. If you'd like, you can reach around, so that'll help keep this right shoulder back. Your gaze is up at the ceiling again, unless again that bothers your neck, in which case just find a drishti, somewhere where you might feel the stretch in your neck, but it doesn't hurt. You can breathe through it. Inhale back to warrior two. Straighten out the right leg. Exhale, reach for the outer edge of the room, trying to keep your body parallel with the floor. And when you're ready, just tilt. So this time we're trying to get a nice long line through the left side. If you'd like, you can reach your arm over top of your ear. It'll intensify the stretch for you a bit, or you can leave it up to the ceiling. It's up to you. If you're reaching toward the ceiling, keep reaching back as well so you keep the heart open. Gaze is up at the ceiling, or maybe down at your big toe, wherever you feel the most strength in the posture. On your inhale, come back up to straight legs. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, straighten out. Pivot the right toes toward your middle, the left toward the back wall. Take a deep breath, lengthen. Exhale, find your warrior. Make whatever adjustments that you need. Looking over the left fingers, flip the palm. Exhale, tilt. Reverse your warrior. Inhale, straighten the left leg, reaching for the back wall. Get as long as you can. When you're ready, tilt. You can just let that left hand land wherever it wants. If you'd like, again, you can use a block. You can use your thigh, your shin. Eventually, you'll have the heel of your hand and the heel of your foot in line with one another. So as you get deeper, you might want to move that block on the back side of your heel. Again, you can drop this arm if it bothers your shoulder. You can reach over your ear if you want the deeper stretch. You can shift your gaze to wherever it's comfortable for you for the last 3. Inhale, back to straight arms and legs. Exhale, sink into your warrior. Inhale, straighten out, pivot all 10 toes toward the mirror. Deep breath, exhale, fold. Place your left hand right in front of your face, and on your inhale, open up through the right. Exhale, back to the mat. Replace the left hand with the right. Inhale, open up to the left. Exhale to the mat. Bring your hands to your hips, pull the shoulders back. And on your inhale, just come up nice and slow. Step the right foot to meet the left, arms by your side for Tadasana. So if you're not facing the front of your mat, come to the top of your mat. Inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, lengthen, and on your exhale, step that right foot back again. Make sure that your left knee is on top of your left ankle, and on your inhale, just pull your shoulders back. So you're trying to get shoulders right on top of your hips. That right leg is nice and strong. You're pressing the heel toward the mat while you lift the knee and thigh towards the ceiling. Inhale, arms up. Maybe start to reach back if that feels good for you, giving yourself a little bit of a back bend. But as long as your hips are on top of your shoulders, you're lifting from the heart, that's essentially a back bend. So just do what you're able. Exhale, step down to the mat, step back to down dog. Inhale, sweep up the right foot. Exhale, lunge. So same thing, opposite side. Knee on your ankle, left leg is strong. Pull the shoulders back and just press into that forward foot to come up to a crescent lunge. When you're ready, extend your arms. Maybe adding a back bend. Totally up to you. If this is too much, you can drop down to your knee so that you practice where you're at. Don't force things. And exhale, float down to the mat from here. Step back to plank. Take a nice deep breath, and on your exhale, float all the way down so that you're on your belly, arms by your side. Take a couple of breaths, just noticing what you're feeling. So they say there are 5 tenets to a basic practice. The first is breathe for obvious reasons. The second is relax, and that's the one that most people forget about. So throughout your postures, how can you deepen and soften your breath? Where can you soften your body? The third tenet is awareness. What is going on with you? What are you feeling? Where are you feeling it? And when you practice with awareness, you'll notice the changes in your body as you go through your practice. And the last two kind of go hand in hand. Acceptance, this is where I am today. And experience. Just experiencing the thoughts, the feelings. Acknowledge whatever thoughts there are and just let them go by. There'll be plenty of time to deal with it later. Now moving into some back asanas, we're starting with Cobra. So your hands are flat on the mat with wrist underneath the elbows. They're close to your body. Press the toes into the mat with enough effort your knees are lifting. On your inhale, without using your hands, lift your upper body so it's all low back muscles. Your hands just hover above the mat. Find a drishti. It might be right off the tip of your nose, or it might be out across the room a bit. Keep pulling those shoulders back so you're using all the back muscles to keep this lift. Breathe for 5. Exhale to the mat. Arms by your side, one ear on the mat. 2 deep restorative breaths here. What are you feeling? And then we'll do a second set. So toes and heels are together. Press all 10 toes in the mat. Wrists below your elbows. On your inhale, lift as high as you can using your low back. Now keep that and tense your fingers. Really try to pull those shoulders back. So now you're engaging upper back muscles as well. Again, gaze is probably most comfortable off the tip of your nose for 5. And change. Exhale, float down to the mat. Put the opposite ear on the mat. 2 deep restorative breaths. So that's nice big inhales. And then really blow it out with your Ujjayi. So when you use Ujjayi, you can really empty out all those toxins on your exhale. And we lose about 70% of our toxins through our breath. Now moving into Salabhasana, locust. Arms are out like airplane wings. Toes and heels are together. This time on your inhale, like a hot air balloon, lift like your breath, lifting up arms and legs together. Try to keep your feet together. Keep pulling your shoulders back. Your fingers should be about hairline level. And you want your upper body to be a little higher than your lower. So you really feel this working mid-back, like right where your lower rib is. Breathe for 5. And exhale to the mat. Opposite ear on the mat again. 2 nice deep breaths. Now extend your arms out in front of you like Superman, and this is a variation on Salabhasana. On your inhale, lift your right arm and your left leg. So this time, your heel and your fingers should be about the same height. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Down to the mat. Inhale, left arm, right leg. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Third time, arms and legs together. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale to the mat. Arms by your side, opposite ear on the mat. Now bend your right leg, bend your left for bow. So you can get your grip on the outside of your heels, or if you'd like, this is a bigger stretch on your shoulders. If you reach back like you're going to pass a baton, so thumb up and get the inside of your feet. When you kick up that way, you roll your shoulders back more, so you decide which you'd like to do. Get your grip. Try to keep your knees together, your feet together, and your feet the same height. When you're ready, kick up and back for 5. And change. This time, hands underneath your shoulders and press back to a child's pose. If you'd like, you can separate your knees for Peaceful Warrior. And I like to tell you the reasons why we do things or what they do for you, so you can decide what you prefer. So if you're in a traditional child's pose with your knees together and your belly to your thigh, when you breathe, your belly can only go so far, so you really are massaging the digestive system. When your knees are apart, take advantage of that. You are literally giving yourself room to breathe. So big inhales and long exhales. Either way, you're working your hips. And either way, you're in a position that just naturally breathing is going to pull that breath deep to your lower lobes. So whatever you prefer. And on your next inhale, just slowly roll up. Shoulders come up last. Come into tabletop, curl the toes, lift the hips, nice big stretch. Inhale, sweep up the right leg, exhale, lunge. So we're going right back to that crescent lunge, and because you've been here once already, just inhale, arms straight up. On your exhale, fold forward, arms back. Inhale, lift. Exhale. One more time. Inhale, lift. Exhale down to the mat. Step back to plank. Chaturanga. Upward facing. You can leave your knees on the ground if you'd like, or press those toes into the mat, and exhale back to down dog. Sweep up the left foot, exhale, lunge. Sink the hips, press into the left foot, inhale, crescent lunge, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale up, exhale down to the mat, step back to plank. Press the heels back, tuck the tail, gaze is right off the tip of your nose. 10. 5. 1. Press up to your down dog. Look forward, just tiptoe your feet up between your hands. You can keep a little separation between your feet. And just hang for a moment. Anytime you're in a forward fold, you want to keep your abs engaged. Just protects your low back. If you lay your belly on your thighs, though, it works like a weight belt, and that'll protect your low back too. So with a little bend in your knees, a little tuck to your chin, bring your hands to prayer your heart, and on your inhale, come up nice and slow. Back to Tadasana. So moving into more hip openers, shift the weight to the left foot and cross your right ankle on your left knee. Keep pulling that right knee back and keep the tail tucked, so it's a figure 4 basically. And then you're just going to move through this at your pace. Start by finding your drishti. When you feel solid here, you've got your breath, you've got your balance, then sit down as though I slid a chair underneath you. This might be it for you. If it is, just honor that. If you feel like you can go deeper into the hips, bring your elbows to your knees and shift your gaze to the floor. That'll help you with balance. This might be it, or you might be able to bring your hands to blocks or books. You might be able to bring your fingertips to the floor, or you might be able to go flat on the floor. If you can go flat and your hips are still cooperating, then you might try toe stand, hips to your heel. Walk your hands back by your hips. And if that's not too much on your knee, see if you can clap, or maybe just bring one hand up to your heart. Maybe you can bring both hands so for a second you can feel that. And then change. Now this is the hard part. If you're in toe stand, it takes a lot of strength to press out of that. So maybe use your hands to give yourself a little head start. And then come on up. So just taking it to the other side, you're going to shift the weight to the right, spread the toes, and just cross your left ankle on your right knee. Same thing, just start by finding your balance and your breath. So keep pulling the right knee back, keep the tail slightly tucked. Find your breath and move at your pace. So if and when you're ready, start by just sitting down. So I slid a chair underneath. That's the first step in opening up your hips. From there, maybe elbows to your knees and ankles. And then look down at the floor, and maybe you can come all the way down, hands flat on the mat. Maybe toe stand and change. Come up nice and slow. So from here, we're moving into bow stand, bow pose, Dhanurasana. So shift the weight to the left again, spread the toes. Inhale, arms out and up, and as you exhale, just lower the right arms, the elbow's close and the palm is up. Now just unhinge the soft part of your elbow, faces outside. What a lot of people want to do is twist that arm around and then you have no range of motion. As long as your palm is out, you can do a complete circle. So palm out, Pick your foot up from the inside. Start by just trying to keep your knees together and your legs parallel. So just doing this is stretching the quadriceps and the hip flexor. You're also working the outside of your hips by keeping your knees together. So again, listening to your body, this might be it for you. Find a drishti, kick into your hand and reach up to the ceiling with equal effort. Once you have your balance, the only thing that moves is your hip joint as you exhale. You're trying to come parallel to the floor. Once you're there, you'll usually see your toes coming out of the crown of your head. And if you do, then you know that the alignment is good. Now just find your breath, find the stillness. Where can you relax? Once you feel like you have the posture, then the only thing that needs to move is that right leg. Kick up as high as you can. Don't worry about wobbling out of it, because this is one of those postures where you'll wobble out way before you ever hurt anything. So you can really give it your all in this one. So just go for it. You might really surprise yourself by how deep you get for the last 3, 2, 1. Exhale, back to Tadasana. Inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, lower the left. Unhinge, same thing other side. Pick up the left foot from the inside. Start by keeping your knees together and your thighs parallel. Reaching and kicking in opposite directions, equal force. When you're ready, you start to hinge forward. If you wobble, hold it there, back up a bit until you're ready to come fully into it. Body parallel with the floor. Chest will be just above it. And again, if you see your toes, they're coming right out the top of your head. Take a breath or two there, and then just try turning it on. The worst that'll happen is you'll lose your balance. So just kick up with all you've got with that left foot for the last 5, 1. Right back down. From here, we're moving into tree, Vrikshasana. So shift the weight to the left again. Pick up your right. Open up your knee and get your foot placement. It can be anywhere along your leg except your knee. So you might even find there are days where balance is just off. So your toes are on the floor and your heel on your ankle. Regardless of where you are, you're trying to pull your knee back. Keep your tail tucked. Hands are a prayer at your heart. Said Anjali Mudra has a calming effect. If and when you're ready, you can extend your branches. And then you might be able to shift your drishti, but it's typically when you shift your drishti that you lose your balance. So one of the things I recommend is look up first with your eyes, and then when you get your focal point, then gently lift your chin to match where you're looking. So the least amount of movement within the posture, the greater the likelihood that you'll hold it. That doesn't mean that there's no movement within a posture. Sometimes you need to adjust to get things lined up where they need to be. So don't be afraid to move if you need to. If something is really uncomfortable, come out of it, maybe realign and go back into it. Now exhale, bring your hands to prayer at your heart and slowly lower the right leg. Shift the weight to the right, and I'm going to give you an alternative for this one. So again, what I like to do is pick up the leg. So this is flexion, this is abduction. It just kind of opens up the hip, lubricates it a little bit before you get your foot placement. But what you could do as an alternative to your foot against your leg is half lotus. So your foot, if you can, is up at the hip crease. Now, another option is to hold your foot into the opposite hand, so you can engage the bicep a bit. So that's a place to start practicing until you can keep your foot up there without any insistence. So you'll be in a half a namaskar, and then maybe lift that arm, shift your gaze. Balance comes and goes. Mostly it goes. It's the last thing to come usually. And so many things affect your balance, so don't worry if you wobble. Just come back to the posture, trying to still the mind. And once you can do that successfully, you'll find that the wobbles go away. Nice. And just slowly lower the branches and the left foot. And then turn around, lie down on your back for a quick Shavasana between standing and some floor postures. So lay down, wiggle your shoulder blades together, arms are by your side, feet are about hip width, and just let the toes fall open. Slightly tuck your chin. Now lengthen your neck. Just a couple breaths, noticing what you're feeling and where you're feeling it. Notice whatever sensations in your body are presenting themselves, and notice it without judgment. You might feel a slight tingling. You might feel a pulsing, like your heart pumping that energy through your body. You might not feel anything, but it's that awareness again, just trying to cultivate stillness within the body. And we do that by going internal, introspective. Now bend the right leg for Pavanamuktasana, wind removal. Interlace your fingers just below your knee at your shin, and again pull the toes toward your face. As you exhale, you're pulling your knee toward your armpit. When you pull toward your armpit, you get more of the outer torso, so that you're massaging and compressing the ascending colon. Release your bind and lift that leg right up to the sky, and as you exhale, pull straight back. So you're getting the hips and hamstrings again. Find your edge. Take a moment to just feel it. And on your inhale, see if you could bring your upper body to your lower. Exhale, bend the right knee, bring your upper body back to the floor, and bring the left leg to meet it. Now we're trying to keep the low back on the floor and the shoulders as much as possible, so you feel Mother Earth supporting your whole spine. Maybe you can hold on to opposite elbows for a really deep compression of the abdomen. And this time we're working the transverse colon. So every time you exhale, you're pulling a little deeper till you find your edge. And the transverse colon runs right below the belly button, horizontal across your abs. So we're moving that energy the way the body does, same direction. Now release the right, keep the left bent, and as you exhale, pulling towards the left armpit, and the toes are towards your face, massaging and compressing the descending colon. So you've essentially cleaned and stimulated the colon with this posture. So it's a great one to start your day with. Now same thing, lift this leg right up to the sky. Your two sides are different. Interlace your fingers anywhere behind your leg you're comfortable, and pull straight back. So maybe get a little deeper here, maybe it's a little more challenging for you. Just do your best, and when you find that edge where anything deeper would hurt and anything less you wouldn't really be giving it your all, unless that was your intention today, to just breathe and move, then find your edge and just sit with it. On your inhale again, maybe you can bring your upper body to your lower. And then exhale to the mat. Soles of your feet are flat on the mat, and cross your right leg, your right ankle, and your left knee. Reach your right hand through the space that you've created, so you can either interlace at your shin, or a little less challenging as interlace at the thigh. As you pull your left knee towards you, push the right away, and you should feel this in the right hip. It's a piriformis stretch. Again, try to keep your shoulders down to the mat and your head slightly tucked, so you feel the length of your spine being supported. If you feel like you could use a deeper stretch, extend the left leg and just put both arms underneath your calf so your leg is at the crooks of your elbows. And on your exhale, just pull straight down. So you're trying to get this shin on your chest, and you'll get a deeper stretch. If you'd like to try a modification, get your toes in the crook of your left elbow, reach the right arm behind your head, drop it, and hook your fingers. Then gently press your head into your arms, trying to get your shoulders and your elbow down to the ground. And change. Same thing, opposite side. So cross the left ankle on the right knee. Extend your left hand through the space that you've created and interlace your fingers at your shin or your thigh. You decide. Try to keep your shoulders down and your chin slightly tucked. And then as you're ready with your breath, on your exhale for more flexibility, pull the right knee towards you as you push the left knee away. Now you should be feeling it in your left hip. You know, sometimes if you're not really feeling a posture, you may not need to open up that part of your body. So don't beat yourself up. This is not a competition. Instead, go with how it feels and move accordingly. With that said, if you feel like you need the deeper stretch, put your both arms underneath your calf, so you're cradling the calf and the crooks of your elbows. Extend the right leg and just pull your shin and your calf down to your chest. If you'd like to try that variation, then get the toes of your left foot and the crook of your right elbow. Reach the left hand out and up. Drop it behind you, hook the fingers. Now you're going to gently press your head against your tricep. Your tricep is keeping your head up, and your head's trying to press the tricep down. So it's that equal and opposite again that will keep you safe in this posture. So from here, maybe a little gentle pressure with your head to get a little further down. And if it's uncomfortable, just back out of it. And change. Now what feels really good, it's the counter posture for that pigeon on your back, is to separate the feet mat width. Reach your arms out like airplane wings. As you exhale, drop your knees to the left, look to the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale, knees to the right, look to the left. Inhale back to center, knees to the left, look to the right. Now take your left ankle and put it on top of your right knee. So that'll intensify the stretch so that you're working the IT band and the hip adductors. And just take a couple breaths there. So just relax and breathe. Let go. Inhale, come to center. Exhale, drop both knees to the right, look to the left, and put your right ankle on your left knee. And just relax. Close your eyes if you'd like. There's a Sanskrit chant, and it means, I'm protected, I'm safe, I'm guarded. It's Om Pahi. So maybe while you're here, you just silently say it to yourself, Om Pahi. Come gently back to center, and now we're going to do 3 sets of bridge. So with your feet hip width apart and your heels close enough to your glutes that you can lightly touch them to your fingers, wiggle your shoulders together. On your inhale, press into your feet, peeling your back up off the floor. Now wiggle your shoulders even closer together. You might be able to interlace your fingers and press them to the mat. Push your knees away from you. Pull your heels towards you. Keep your feet parallel and your knees in line with your hips. On your exhale, slowly float down to the mat. Take 2 deep restorative breaths. Second set, press into the feet, peel up, wiggle your shoulder blades together, and this time if you'd like, you can support your hips and maybe try Ekapada. Lift one leg at a time, right above you. And then float to the mat. Arms by your side. 2 restorative breaths. So you can do exactly what you just did for the third and final set. Or if you've got full wheel into your tool belt, you could try that. If you're doing full wheel, your palms are flat on the floor, shoulder width apart, fingers facing you. Everything else is the same, but when you lift up, you might start here. This is tripod, and you can stay here, or you can straighten your arms and lift all the way up. I'm not lifting all the way up myself because I do have a shoulder injury. So whenever you have injuries, you modify. So you could stay in tripod if that doesn't bother your shoulder. You can do one of the earlier 2 versions that we did, whatever works for you. And then slowly float down to the mat and pull your knees up to your chest. You might want to draw little circles on the ceiling with your knees, and that just massages your low back. Now tuck the hands under the small of your back, lift your legs up to the sky. Little ab work. Take a nice deep breath and exhale, lower 1/3. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower 1/2. Inhale, lift. Exhale just above the mat and change. 1/3 and change. 1/2 and change. Just above the mat and change. 1/3. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and change. 1/2. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and change. And now just above the mat, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and change. This time, pull your knees to your chest, and again, you might want to draw those little circles. And then extend your legs, arms by your side. Wiggle your shoulders together. Put your right toes gently on top of your left knee and hold on to your right knee with your left hand. As you exhale, help your knee across your body to the floor or to a block. Extend your right arm, and what you could also do is put a block underneath your shoulder or your arm if it's not going to the floor. So the idea is that you're supported on the earth, so you can just relax and let the twist happen. Gazes over your right arm, and just connect with your breath. If you'd like, close your eyes, maybe go back to your original intention, and just relax. Inhale, come back to center. Extend your left leg, or extend your right leg, and put the left toes on top of your right knee. Hold on to your left knee with your right hand, and as you exhale, gently help it across your body to the floor or a block. Maybe you need a little extra support underneath the left shoulder. When your shoulder and your knee are both supported, you can just relax and let the shape of the posture do the work. So it's a passive stretch. Just connect with your breath and relax. Just breathe. and change. Come back to center and realign your spine if you want to. And then let's move into Baddha Konasana, bound angle. So while laying on your back, bring your feet together, the soles of your feet, let your knees open up. This is another one of those postures where, depending on where your feet are, it will make a difference in how you feel in your hips. If you can bring your knees, your heels close to your midline, that's going to be the deepest stretch. And if it's uncomfortable, again, you can support your knees so that they don't go any deeper than where you're at right now. And if it eases up for you, you change the height, or you move them away completely. You might want to just rest your hands at your lower ab. This is where they call it the seat, the home of Vata energy. It's Ayurvedic. For those of you that don't know, that Vata energy is comprised of the elements of air and ether, so it's responsible for all movement. So thinking is movement. So when you're stressed out, that Vata energy gets a little elevated to the point that you're a little nervous. You have a hard time focusing, you have a hard time relaxing. So just bringing your awareness to that part of your body, just breathing deep into your hands, has a very calming effect. Whenever you're ready, you can just extend your legs and rest your arms by your side. Now this is a really simple thing to do. It's for your pelvic bowl. And women, for obvious reasons, we birth babies, that pelvic floor gets kind of weak. For men though, it's good for reproduction, so it's good for your prostate. For women, it's good for bladder control. Not that no men have that, but after you have babies. So it's good for everybody, and it's so simple, it almost seems like it wouldn't do anything. But start with your feet pointing straight up to the ceiling. Your feet are about hip width apart. As you exhale, open up to 11 and 1 o'clock, like it's a clock face, right? 11 and 1, so it's not a big movement. And then inhale back to center. And just do about 10 of those. Exhaling out, inhaling back in. So simple and so beneficial. And after you've done your 10, just let your toes fall open in any direction they want. Slightly tuck your chin. Wiggle those shoulder blades together, arms are by your side. For your final Shavasana. And just relax, don't control your breath anymore. But if you find that your mind still wants to wander, then maybe go back to that mantra, Om Pahi, I am protected, I'm safe, I'm secure. Or whatever you need to affirm. When you keep that singular focus, that helps your mind to quiet. Thank you for joining me today in this class. Until we meet again, Om Bolo Satguru Bhagavad Ki, victory to God, the only true teacher. Namaste.